Frozen 2, the newest Disney animation, and a sequel to the insanely popular Frozen film. I will admit, like everybody else, I got a little sick of Frozen. But right from the get go, I remember thinking, Frozen's good, but it's not like one of the greatest animated films of all time. I went back and checked my original review, and I did give the first Frozen a 4.5 out of 5. So I enjoyed it enough. I do remember coming out of the theater opening night and singing the songs and thinking, that was a good movie. It did some things that you don't see from a lot of Disney princess movies. And I'm just a sucker by now, if you don't know, I'm a sucker for animated films, and I love a good Disney musical or a Disney princess story. They just, always hit the right notes for me, which is weird as a 35-year-old man, but I don't know. I'm a sucker for them. It brings me back to my childhood, and I enjoy them. And so this one takes place shortly after the second film. I don't think too much time has passed. I don't know if they actually ever say, but Elsa and Anna are kind of, you know, running the kingdom or running Arendelle, and Elsa starts hearing weird sounds, and she's being called to the woods. And you also get this kind of little story from their parents. You get a flashback to start the movie where there's these enchanted woods, so they start to build in some story, and that's one of the negatives of the film I'll get to in a minute. But so she's called to the woods, so they go on this adventure to the woods, and then a whole bunch of other stuff happens, and I won't get into it because, I don't want to spoil the intricacies of Frozen 2, and plus, it would probably take me 20 minutes to lay out all the things that are in this movie. So they really expand the world in this movie. So if you are a diehard Frozen person, you may really enjoy the fact that they go hardcore into the world of this movie. There is just all this new stuff that was not in the first film. And for me, I was kind of a negative for me because I kind of liked the simplicity of the first film. I understand them wanting to explain, like, where does Elsa get her powers, and but it just seems like it took it way too far. It got a little convoluted and a little just too much. There was just too much. And when you look back at that first film, it had catchy songs, it had a cool couple main characters. Olaf was funny. In this one, everything seems like a step down. The songs weren't as good to me. The Olaf is not as funny in the first film, or I didn't think he was. I will say he has a scene in the movie that is the funniest scene in the entire movie. I won't say anything, but you'll know what scene I'm talking about when you've seen the movie. And I heard there's an end credit scene where he does the same kind of thing again, and it makes me mad that I didn't stay. But goodness, with these end credit scenes on every movie. But anyways, I lost my train of thought. But while I'm sitting here pointing out all the negatives, there are some good things here. Anna and Elsa have a really good relationship. I loved all the Sven stuff, or not Sven, the Kristoff and Sven stuff. I'm still stuck in Olaf, calling Kristoff Sven. Kristoff gets his own song. And especially at the beginning of the movie, I was really liking everything going on with Kristoff. And I like Anna and Elsa when they're together. Do they maybe get split up this movie? And then that's when things start to go a little crazy? Yes. I get the want. It felt like there was a particular thing that happens in this movie towards the end, and it felt like Toy Story 4, where it's like they were adding too much stuff. Like I said the same thing about Toy Story 4. It was just like, we didn't pay attention to our old characters because we had all these new characters. And it's the same kind of thing here. It's just more and more stuff. And I get the want to do that, but I wish we could have focused more on the original characters, or the original stuff, is basically what I'm saying. But I get it. Some people are going to love this movie. Our theater was packed with kids, and they gave it a standing ovation and clapped at the end of the movie. I will say there is one or two songs in here that are pretty good. Like I said, Anna and Elsa are good. I like that it's different. It's not your traditional Disney princess movie. I mean, even in the sequel, it's not what you think it's going to be. There are things in this that are, different than what you would expect. So I got to give him props for that. But for me, I didn't like it quite as much as I liked the first one, and I still don't think it compares to like Moana is like a masterpiece to me, or Tangled. I think is better than this film. So while I enjoyed it, was a little disappointed because the trailers were so good. I thought we might get something really cool here. And for me, it was just okay again. So I'm going to give Frozen 2 a 4 out of 5. And until next time, this is Rainy Cage. Peace out.